Hey guys, this is Brian from the Liver and Onion Guys, and today I wanted to show you my take on a traditional liver and onions recipe. Alright, so today I'm going to be using beef liver, which I've already trimmed up, cleaned up, and sliced thinly here. And I have this soaking in a dark beer. We have our onions, bacon, flour to dredge the liver in, and then all of the spices and herbs that we're going to put in our gravy. Okay, so the first step, we're going to start cooking up our bacon here. Most traditional liver and onion recipes call for bacon, and so I'm going to do that. It's one of my favorite parts. So while the bacon's cooking here, I'm going to get my liver ready. So I'll flip these over. Here I just have regular all-purpose flour, and to that I'm going to add I have some cayenne pepper and some dry mustard, salt, and then some fresh ground black pepper. Mix that around. And then we're going to add our liver to this. I just want to... This is about a pound of beef liver. And this is what's going to give us that nice crispy crust when we put it in the pan. So this bacon looks just about perfect. This is the way I like it. It's crispy, but it still has a little bit of chew to it. So we're going to take this out, and we're going to put this aside. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to grab our onion. And I have 2 large onions, and I'll show you how I slice them up. Onions, the caramelized onions are one of my favorite parts of this dish, so we need lots of onions. So onions into the bacon grease. So this is going to take a little bit of time, maybe 15-20 minutes, and we're going to get them nice and brown, and it's going to bring the sweetness out of the onions. Okay, it's been about 5 or 6 minutes, and you can see it's starting to caramelize up a little bit here, but while it's going, I want to talk a little bit about what I'm going to be serving with my liver and onions. So I've already prepared some mashed potatoes. So these are Yukon Gold potatoes, which I put a little bit of butter, actually a lot of butter, and a lot of milk, and salt and pepper to that. So we have that ready, waiting for us. And I'm going to serve it with cremini mushrooms and green beans. So what I've done right here is I just have some mushrooms which I've cut in half, a little bit of olive oil, a little bit of butter, and I'm going to get those started and just start to brown those up a little bit. Alright, so these onions are looking perfect right now. So when they start to caramelize like this, all that sweetness and the sugars come out of the onions, and that's just what you're looking for. So what we're going to do is we're going to put these aside again. In a bowl here. And put my pan back on the heat, and I'm going to add a little bit of more olive oil, some butter, And we're going to start cooking up our liver. So this is really thin, so it's going to cook really quickly. Alright, so we have our liver went in the pan. We just want to get a nice little crust on it. It doesn't take very long to cook. It's very thin, and we don't want it to be completely cooked all the way through. We want it to be a little bit pink in the center. Starting to brown nicely. The mushrooms, I can hear my mushrooms over here sizzling. So I'm going to give those a little flip. Turn it down. And then, just like that. Onion there. Alright, so this is perfect. It's only maybe like 2 minutes on each side, 2 or 3 minutes on each side. And we'll put this aside as well. We don't want to overcook it. And then our pan here, I'm going to turn this down a little bit. Alright, so we're going to make our gravy now. So I'm going to add a little bit more oil to the pan, because we're going to make a little bit of a roux, but we have all that nice flavor from the liver that we just cooked in there. So to this I'm going to add a little bit of that flour that we dredged the liver in. It has all those nice spices in there that we put in there originally, so I want to make sure we use that. And then start cooking that up. I fucking lost my spoon. So basically we're just making, I'm going to add a little bit more oil to that. There it is. Add a little more oil to that so we can make a roux. Alright, and we want to cook the flour just a little bit to get that kind of nutty flavor. Now, we don't want a really dark roux, but we want sort of a medium flavor to our gravy. I'm going to turn that heat down a little bit. Alright, and then to our roux here, I'm going to add a little bit of tomato paste. And we want to let that kind of cook and brown up in there just a little bit. Alright, take it off the heat a little. And I'm going to add some fresh thyme and a couple of fresh bay leaves and some parsley to that as well. Alright, get that started. And then I'm going to add a little bit more of the dark beer. I mentioned earlier that I had marinated the liver in beer, so I just wanted to get that beer flavor. Some people soak it in milk or water. I like to use beer, just adds a little bit more flavor to it. So you can see that's already starting to thicken up with that roux in there. And then in the back here I have some nice rich beef stock, which I have simmering in the back here, so we'll add that to make our gravy. And start thickening that up. You can start to see it thickening up here. Alright, so simmer it for a few minutes. Now these herbs are going to do their thing here, and then I'm going to take it out. So I'm going to take out this thyme and this bay leaf. It's already imparted its flavor in here. It's been going for about 5 minutes. And then I'm going to add our onions that we caramelized back into this. Ooh, that's looking good. It's getting really thick too, so I think I'm going to put a little bit more of my beef stock in here. Thin this out a little bit. Mmm. That looks good. I'm getting hungry already. A little bit of salt. More pepper. So that's it. I'm going to put this aside, and then we will finish our side dishes, and we'll plate it up. Okay, so to serve with our liver and onions, I'm gonna do these mushrooms and green beans. So I already started these are cremini mushrooms, which I'm sauteing in butter with a little salt and pepper. And then I have some green beans, which I've already blanched, so they're already cooked and ready to go. So we're gonna put those in there. And we're just gonna heat them up. Hit it with a little bit more salt and pepper. And that's it. That's a real quick side dish that goes really well with this. Okay, so we're gonna plate up our liver and onions. So I'm gonna get a nice big dollop of mashed potatoes on there. Put some of our green beans and mushrooms. That perfect. Some of that delicious liver. Put this on here, just like that. And then our onion and beer gravy, which we'll put right on top. That, and then make sure I have enough gravy for the mashed potatoes. Last but not least, we have our crispy bacon here. That. A little bit of parsley. That's it. That's our traditional liver and onions with bacon and beer and onion gravy. I just wanted to taste it here. So I'll get some of this. So the liver is nice and crispy on the outside. That sweetness from the onions and the gravy just complements it perfectly. Mashed potatoes. If you have gravy, you gotta have mashed potatoes. Definitely try this recipe at home. And if you like what you saw here, like this video and subscribe, please.